Hi, I'm petersonnormil. I'm a film and game composer based in Tampa, Florida, and this video is going to be an overview of how I scored The Gift, a supernatural horror film. To give a brief synopsis, this film is about how a dad wants to reconnect with his daughter and so gives her a nice wooden carving gift he got from his trip. As always, with these things, the gift may or may not be completely possessed, and things get real very quickly. One of the recurring themes of this film is the idea of whispers, which is actually how this film begins. So I'm going to show the the full mix, and then we'll dig deep and look inside what are the elements I use to accommodate the sound effects. If you have not watched this film, definitely recommend you go see it first. I should have a link down below in the description. So yeah, what were the music elements? So I think one of the more noticeable ones was this saw bass that I use. So this is quite simply a vital patch that I believe I made from a tutorial. As you can see, it's layered with two saw waves, a sine wave that's a pitch lower to add some bass. The first saw wave is has some unison, some detuned. Yeah, that's about it. And I am modulating the pitch filter. I am modulating the filter based off of the attack and envelope. In the effects rack, you could see I use some nice compression, some nice distortion, filter, and reverb to kind of make it sound a little bit longer than it is and give it that washy feeling. Let's hear it again. And you could hear that I'm also moving the pitch to give it that just bit more intensity as well. The next synth that I used was from it's actually from Studio One. It comes with their library. It's called Sub-Zero Bass. I was using the Death Has Arrived preset. It sounds very aggressive to me. Yeah. You didn't hear that as the intense version of that. I was slowly creeping it in to add the chaos to it. All right, those are the synths. We also have very subtle, but some string patches. I have intimate strings, long flautando patch. Both of these are from Spitfire, by the way. And I also have fragile strings evolutions, the preset a fragile start. I did not process them or touch them. I used them as is. I wanted a string sound, but I wanted it to be very a smaller ensemble. I didn't want to use my more cinematic, big, epic sound. I really enjoy uh, how intimate it sounds, how close to you it sounds. And I'm basically just playing one note. We do have some stingers that I call one shots. I consider this more like the percussion stuff. So this is a piano crash sound effects. I did do some processing for it. If I remove all of it, this is what it sounds like. I added some EQ just to remove the high end. And then I added some reverb to give it that boomy, washy sound. Feels a bit more cinematic with that. So now we have more of the interesting strings, I would say. So first off, we have fragile strings again, but I'm using something called Continued Madness patch. It's very nice sounding. I like how it starts with a one note and then it quickly descends into a chaotic cluster of random bowings and aggressive bowings. So in the actual scene, the way I'm using it is like this. I'm modulating the volume, so at the climax of the chaos, that's where you really hear it. Layered with that, I have two patches from a library called Amplified Cello Quartet. Wobbly. It just sounds like a wobbly note, a processed cello note. If I could, let me play it. And then we also have chatter, which sounds like, to me, it sounds like ice running across your back, or maybe you could consider these part of the whispers as well. It almost sounds spooky and ghost-like as well. So if we put all of those string instruments together, and I'll even add the the sound effects to hear what that sounds like. And yeah, that's the initial part of the scene. Let's hear it. Let's hear everything without the sound design from the film. Okay. Now the next cue is when the father gives Lily the gift for the first time. Wanted something, a mix between soothing yet suspenseful. Kept it very simple. I'm using the string patch again, the soft sounding strings. I'm also bringing back the cheddar, the creepy, spooky chatter patch, but it's a bit lower in the mix, so you have to really hear it. And then lastly, a new sound effect is from Gina Luciani Cinema Flutes. These are her randomly pressing key buttons on the flute. It has a nice texture to it.
It's cool.
Yeah, guy in the mountains made it handmade. It's probably lucky.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
and also the theme that the strings are playing, that is something that we're going to hear again later, just to give some continuity to the film. So now let's go to this scene. This is, spoiler alert, the first possession, the first jump scare of the film. This is where things start going really wrong. So as you can see, it's very light, actually. I did not put much for it. That's going to be a recurring theme, and that is on purpose. I wanted the sound design, the absence or the addition of sounds to help be the priority for this film, not necessarily the music. So here it goes. So let's hear what these sounds were. For the actual jump scare, I focused more on the sound design. By the way, I was the Foley, the dialogue cleaner, and the sound effects guy for this film as well. So for the impact, we bounced out the madness strings patch, and I just took the tail of it. Very effective. We also brought back the chatter, doing this slightly increasing pattern. And we have this bed of key clicks to help ground things out. And there you go. Let's now go to the next scene. This is, spoiler alert, this is jump scare number 2. Also, as I said, very, very light. We brought the cinema flutes, having the key clicks, and we have a new sound being added. This is from Fragile Strings, the ricochet flickers. I like it because it's a pure tone, but there's like little interesting twitches of the sound as well. If I can play it. What I like to imagine is that it's like one of the zombies in The Last of Us, where it feels like they're completely still, but they would just randomly twitch a bit. It adds to that creepiness as well. Let's see how I use this in the film. Oops, let me put all the audio in.
Really? Lily. What? Lily.
So the scene continues as well. And remember when I said the theme from the beginning will be used again? So I did use it again, using the saw bass this time, as well as the processed cello sound, the wobbly synths. In this scene, the chaos, I wanted to focus a lot on being disoriented fear. This new character, who unfortunately is not going to make it. I wanted to focus on his fear and just madness that's going around to him. So we used another new patch called the Heavy Bow. it has this nice wavering element. It doesn't feel completely organic, and that's why I chose it. Let's look at the scene.
Open the door! Oh!
So yeah. And for the last cue, this feels like a call to the beginning of the film with the whispers. So it's just a nice little scene where you're entering the room and getting closer to the gift to see it up close and personal. So as a reference to the beginning, I'm using some similar instruments. I am using the intimate strings again. I am also using the saw bass, this time just a repeating bass tone. And then we also finish this cue off with the chat or with the chatter cello quartet sound as well. There's also another bass note sound. This is just to accentuate the title card that shows up as well. I'll show that right now. Yep. And let's actually listen to the chatter again. Right. And now let's hear everything together. So yeah, that is how I scored the gift. I want to say a big thank you to the production team. We're a volunteer club in Tampa called Lights Camera Tampa. Want to thank the amazing cast who worked on this film. Jordan, the director, gave some great feedback and insight to the score, as well as the sound design to really help take this to the next level. I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, just drop in the comment below and I'll see how I can answer it. Thank you. Have a good 2026.